Right, so today we have this box of treats. It's a PS5. Customer's taking it to bits because it needs an HDMI port on it, and they told me they haven't done anything to it. So hopefully they haven't. So I'm going to open it all up and see what's going on. Once I get it out, I need two hands. That's the first. Can't say I've ever seen that before. Yeah, that's a bit random. They've basically undone the screws on the wrong side and taken the power supply out with it, which is a bit bizarre. Right, that's out. This thing's been getting hot. Jesus. State of that, look. Damn. Yeah, luckily, by the look of it, they've attempted to do something with some solder there, look. And that's as far as they've got, thankfully. Oh, I don't know actually. Is that the old port? I'm hoping that's the old port. I'm hoping this is not one they've tried to solder on. But can't really tell. I'm going to take it off anyway and see what's going on. That's the old port removed. Just going to clean all that up then, and then we can put the new one on. Luckily they've not pulled any pads or anything like that, so that's all good. There we go, it's cleaned up. Pads retinned, so ready to put that port on now. Somehow I managed to knock the capacitor off as per usual, so I have to replace that as well. There we go, just redone the liquid metal on there, so much better looking now. No more hot spots. While it's apart, may as well give this a wash out as well, considering they've taken it off. There we go, all clean, good wash out. Just going to blow it all out now just to make sure there's no water left in it. But yeah, there you go. Oh man, this is a nightmare. I mean, they've taken stuff apart that doesn't even need taking apart. This never comes out of there, so I have no idea how the hell that goes because I've never taken that off. Take that off there, I'm presuming, because that goes, I think that goes in there somewhere, but I don't know. So usually when you take these apart, you don't take all the power supply and heat sink and everything out of it. You just literally take the board out and job done. Well, that's the first. There you go. I always wondered where that went to, because basically when you take these apart, you don't do all this. Like, they've taken way too much to bits. But that usually just sits there and then just plugs into the motherboard, and it will just sit there like that. So you just plug it back in once you put the board back in. So, but it looks like they've pulled the cable out of that. It's a new port on there, look. So they replace that capacitor as well. That's basically as far as you should be disassembling it, really. You don't need to undo the screws on the back. Like, literally the screws on the other side of the console don't need touching. And then you can just literally just put the pull the board out like that. Clamp on. Just realised there was like some gobs of liquid metal everywhere as well, so that's not ideal. So yeah, hopefully there's nothing anywhere else I've not spotted. Right, so I'm just giving it a test before we put it back together, just to make sure the HDMI port's working. And it's booted, but there's no display on the TV, so it looks like they've damaged something else on it as well, I imagine. Right, so I'm just testing it, and this is not working. There's loads of pins there that aren't connected to anything. I know the solder job's fine on it. I'm just wondering whether the customer's ports, so they gave me a packet of ports with it. I'm just wondering whether there's some dodgy knockoffs or not, or whether just to pull it out and redo it with my own or not. So I think these ports are probably no good. I kind of broke my own rule with this. Basically, don't ever use customer parts. So, like, nothing should be beeping. Like if we use one of these other ones, look. So we get beep. Where is it? One of these. Get some of them. Never make it out to the pins. So it's dodgy ports, so I'm going to have to do the job twice now. Take this port off and redo it because of junk parts. Right, take two. So I've just taken this off and replaced it with one of my ports, and When you do this, oh look, it now works. So there you go. Was a dodgy port, so fun. Well, we're plugged in and still nothing. Ace. This is why customers shouldn't touch their own stuff, because 9 times out of 10, the majority of the time they break it. So yeah, I've no idea what's wrong with this now. Right, so I've just tested all this. All of the contact points are on the readings like what they're supposed to be. So it's possible that they've knocked something off the board when they were taking it apart. This is a problem. If you don't know what you're doing, it's very easy to damage the board. So literally any of these components could be damaged or knocked off. It's kind of like luck of the draw if you can find out what's wrong with it. Right, so I've just soldered that diode there because it basically has cracked solder joints on it. It can happen when the port breaks because it pushes back and hits it. So see if it works. Right, so we now have an HDMI chip, so we're going to pull the old one off the board and hopefully this sorts it out. That's that chip replaced, so get it put back together and see if that sorts it. Finally! My God, this thing's been a pain. Like, I mean a royal pain. Like, after I fitted that chip, I was messing around on the motherboard again, trying to sort some other things out that I found. It's just been one huge nightmare. But we've got there in the end. So it's had a new chip and not one, but I think 2 or 3 HDMI ports because they just wouldn't work properly. Yeah, this is really irritating me now. It works in safe mode, but for some reason it won't work in normal mode, which is really driving me insane. Hooray! After more messing around, we've got there. It appears to be working, finally, after lots of messing around. Here we go, we are back together. And finally working. I'm hoping I never ever see this thing again because it's drove me insane, but we got there in the end.